So good evening. This is Patty Abel. I have been using Young Living oils for, let me think, about 5 years now, and still learning, but I've studied a lot. And one of the areas that I've done a lot of studying in is emotions and using oils with emotions. So I've taken all kinds of classes in that, and I still feel like I've just tipping the iceberg. So tonight we're going to be talking about balancing healthy emotions with essential oils, which they're amazing for that. So I am going to hide myself also so you can't see me for the moment, and we will get going. So what are essential oils? You know, some of you on here might be new and have not experienced essential oils yet, or experienced Young Living essential oils yet, but essential oils have been enhancing lives for thousands of years. They date all the way back to Bible days and beyond. You can trace them back to the Egyptians, and so they've been around forever. They offer a variety of benefits, from cosmetic and dietary purposes to spiritual and religious use. And Young Living has always been at the forefront of bringing this ancient tradition to modern users. So introducing millions to emotional, physical, and spiritual wellness that can be truly life-changing. And I know with my experience using the oils, it has been life-changing. They are extracted from careful steam distillation, resin tapping, and cold pressing. The purest essential oils are far more powerful than the botanicals from which they come. So they're very concentrated. And at any time you hold a bottle of Young Living's powerful essential oils, you hold nature's purest essence. So in all of my studies, unequivocally, Young Living is the best. It's the purest of all oils that I found. You can go right to their farms and see how everything's done. There is nothing added into it, so there's no adulteration, no cutting of the oils. What you get in the bottle is pure oil, nothing else. There's nothing used on the plants. That's why I love their seed to seal guarantee. So there's 3 ways that we can use essential oils to access their power. We can use them aromatically, so that means we can put them into a diffuser and diffuse them into the air. We can apply them to our hand and inhale. We can apply them to our chest. You can put them into a diffuser necklace, a diffuser bracelets, any type of diffuser jewelry, and get the aromatic benefits from it. And we can also apply them topically to the skin. We also have our Vitality line that you can take internally. So you can put those into a veggie capsule, or put them in your water or your tea, and drink those. Cook with them, all kinds of wonderful things. So just a lot of different, some great methods of using them to enhance the health promoting botanicals in your home. And we use them all 3 of these ways every day in our home. They can inspire a positive emotional state. So if you love the fragrance of a fresh orange peel and how it brightens your day when you peel open that orange, each essential oils complex, pleasant and unique scent triggers emotions and memories which can help in our search for a more fulfilling and balanced life. They help us to rediscover peace, balance, and joy. And we can use the essential oils and blends that you'll learn about today for diffusion, soothing baths, massage, inhalation, or topical application. So that's what we'll be talking about today, is the aromatic and the topical application when it comes to the emotional side of using the oils. So let's look back and see how, how do they affect our emotions. When we inhale an oil, it goes right into the olfactory bulb, which is the very top of our sinus cavity. And that's where we detect odor. It's where, fresh air passes. But this is a direct extension to our brain, and it extends into our limbic system, which is where we process our emotions. So that's why oils are so amazing for helping us with our emotional state, because when we inhale them in, they go right into our emotional brain. So that's also, if we think about it, that goes into our amygdala, and that's where the basic fight, flight, or freeze alarm area is. So if we've set up those blocks there, possibly, that's how the oils are able to go in and help us to process those blocks away. And we'll talk some more about that as we go. And I got a little ahead of myself. How does essential oils impact emotions? The limbic system of the brain plays a powerful role in creating different emotions and feelings. It's often called the emotional switchboard of the brain because it's responsible for carrying sensory input from the environment to the hypothalamus, and then from the hypothalamus to the other parts of the body. So, I talked about that fight or flight. So, if there is danger, think back to it. Let's think about an animal out in nature. If they smell danger because their heightened sense to smell, it's going to go right to their hypothalamus, and then that's going to trigger the rest of their body to run. And the same thing happens with us. So if there's things that trigger different emotions in us, it's going to go to it's going to signal the other parts of the body. So essential oils can have a dramatic effect on the limbic function in our emotional state and how we feel. And that's directly related to their strong aromatic fragrance. The essential oils contain volatile molecules that can make their way into our bloodstream, and many can travel directly through the blood-brain barrier very quickly. So amazing things can we find benefits from with our emotions and our essential oils. So let's talk about identifying our emotions. So Dr. Robert Plosek, and I'm sure I did not pronounce that right, he created what he called the wheel of emotions. And he states that there's 8 basic emotions, which are joy, trust, fear, surprise, sadness, anticipation, anger, and disgust. Plosek created the wheel of emotions, which illustrates the various relationships among the emotions. So if we look here, actually I'm going to go to the next one. So the 8 basic emotions, the intensity of emotion decreases as you move outward and increases as you move toward the wheel's center, and it's indicated by the color. So as it intensifies, the color gets more darker and vivid. So for example, anger, if we look at anger, that's over in the pink area to the left. So anger at its lowest level of intensity is annoyance. And we know that, before we get angered, we are usually a little annoyed with something. And then if we allow that to heighten, it goes into anger. And at its highest intensity, anger can become rage. So that just shows, the lowest level to the highest level. Opposing emotions are found directly across from one another. So, for example, if you look at loathing and admiration, for example. Some others, so, this just shows us that emotions, if they're left unchecked and unresolved, they can intensify. The emotions that you see in the center with no color represents an emotion that is a mix of the two primary emotions. So let's look, when you look at joy and trust up in the top right, then you get love. Other is anticipation between, let's see, anticipation and anger can cause aggressiveness. I'm looking at all these. There's so many that we can look at here, and the wheel really is interesting. But and each sector has an opposite emotion. So the opposite of joy is sadness. So if we find joy on the wheel, which is up in the top in yellow, and then we go directly across, then we see sadness, which is in blue. Which, I mean, makes sense. If we're not joyful, we're not happy, then we are sad. So knowing and understanding the words of emotion, and understanding how different emotions are related to one another and how they can change over time, especially when gone unchecked. You know, so if we have something, it begins to kind of annoy us, and then we don't really do anything about it. We just kind of keep sweeping it under the rug per se, and then it can go into anger. You know, think about the small little things that can annoy you, and I'm sure you can find a time when there's been something that's just annoyed you and kind of nagged at you over time, and as you didn't deal with it either by talking to the person that was annoying you or talking through the annoyance, then eventually it goes into being more angry. So it makes total sense when we start thinking about this. And you know, even like looking over at fear. If we look at fear, which is in the green, you know, first we might just have apprehension over something, and then over time that apprehension can turn into fear. So all these are interesting, and I would really, I'd recommend come back and look at this wheel and how it works. And we're going to explore now essential oils that we can use on these points of the emotion wheel. So let's first look at, we talked about the opposing sides. We're going to look at joy or sadness. So to help balance our natural feelings and create a sense of well-being, we might use some of these oils. So when we looked at joy, the lower end of it, the non-intense, is just serenity. So how we can keep that serenity might be to use a little bit of peace and calming. So you could, again, inhale that, diffuse it, maybe apply it to your pillow at night. And then joy, here they talk about using magnify your purpose. I also think of using the oil joy. Ecstasy, which is the intense side of joy, is awaken. So these are just some oils that we can use in those areas if we know that we need work in those areas. So if we look at sadness, pensiveness is the lower end of that, and you could use Exodus 2, which is a very spicy oil. I would recommend, if you go to just inhale it out of the bottle, make sure you don't touch your lip with it, because it does have some cinnamon in it, and it could be a little warm to the lip or the nose if you get it on there. But it's definitely going to awaken your senses. And if we're in that sadness mode or that sadness area, Joy, of course, is an amazing oil to use, and I love applying this one to my heart. It's a great one to diffuse. And then also orange, and sometimes I like to add some orange to Joy and diffuse the two of them together. From the grief side, which is that intense white angelica, present time. Another one I think of when I think of the grief is trauma life, is a great oil for the grief side. And let's go to trust or disgust. So trust, admiration, gratitude. So when we admire someone, we're grateful for that. Or we admire something that we're grateful for that. Trust. You know, I look at trust, they've got a couple of different options here, and you can look at it from a couple of different standpoints. Using harmony for trust just kind of keeps us, if we think about it, harmonious with what's going on. Or maybe our trust has been a little abused or broken, and so we might need a little bit of forgiveness to forgive whatever has happened to break that trust. Or acceptance, just kind of accept what has happened and start moving forward. And then on the disgust side, we have the lower end, boredom. So we might just need to be, have a little grounding there. So I love the way Gary Young has named all of his oils, his oil blends, because they go with what you're thinking of. Except for I just say that, and now we have Australian blue for disgust. So Australian blue, they call it that because the majority of the oils come from Australia, and it does have a blue color because of the. And I just forgot why it has the blue color, which oil it is that's in there. So I'm going to peel it back because I said that, and now I've got to say which one it is. I know two oils that are blue, and I can't remember which one of them is in Australian blue. I think it is the blue cypress. Yes, the very top oil in Australian blue is blue cypress. There's actually a number of oils in it. It smells awesome. But then again, I think they all smell awesome. Loathing, frankincense. For me, frankincense, when in doubt and you're working on emotional things, frankincense is always a great oil to grab. If you have nothing else, grab frankincense. And the other thing to remember is if you're working from the emotional standpoint, all you have to do is inhale it so that you're getting that scent into the nose, into the emotional brain. And if you've used all of your oil, there's still a scent left in that bottle. So you can still open that bottle up and get what you need to work on what you're working on. So fear and anger, some oils that we might use for that. Apprehension. So, if we have some apprehension, valor 2, citronella is good for that. Fear, we might use myrrh or rudavella. I honestly still like to use valor. Anytime, anything that frightens me, I love valor or valor 2, either one. And then the terror side, we have sacred sandalwood or helichrysum are great ones for that. So, I just play around with these and see how they work for you. On the anger side, we have cinnamon bark or highest potential that we can use at that annoyance stage. Anger, dill, or purification. My favorite oil to use for the anger side is release. And I like to just apply it over my liver, and we'll talk more about that. Rage, trauma life, gathering. And I even think rage, what do we want? What's the other side of that? What do we want when we get into, actually, I don't think I've ever been in a rage, but And if I was, I don't know if I'd even think to grab my oils at that moment. But if I did, I could think of peace and calming might be good because it'd be very calming. So if you ever get around someone who has a little rage, you might just have some oils handy, because they're probably not going to think about grabbing it. Anticipation or surprise. Oils that we can use to balance those. That first part of anticipation is the interest. So we might use something that motivates us. Motivation. Anticipation. So and I love this because I think about a child. They listed inner child, and when I think about anticipation, I think about that anticipation of a child. And so inner child really speaks to me when I hear that too. Or we might need to surrender to it. And then if we need a little vigilance, transformation. Surprise, we're distracted. 3 wise men is great. Surprise, release. Amazement, present time, or live your passion. So many different, I'm going the wrong way. Many different oils that we can look at. You know, those are just suggestions. I always just say grab an oil and go with it. Experiment, see what works for you. So when we're talking about emotions, one of my favorite kits is the feelings collection. And they've, you know, kind of done the work for us, and they've put 6 of the, you know, 6 of the top oils that helps when we're working through feelings and emotions. So it's kind of like all your favorite emotional oils in one collection. So let's look at those. We're going to look at them individually. So when we're working on feelings, sometimes we might need to forgive ourselves or forgive others to be able to get through that, letting go of that negative emotion. Because if we can't forgive, we can't move on. So forgiveness is a great oil to use for that. And, you know, if we look at the ingredients, for those of you that are familiar with oils, these ingredients are amazing. Melissa, geranium, frankincense, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, coriander, angelica, lavender, bergamot, yum, yum, yum. So lots of oils that are high in sesquiterpenes, which are great. It's a chemical constituent that is good for the brain. So, you know, ways I might use forgiveness. Just inhale it. Apply it over the heart. Because, you know, if something has upset us and something's hurt us, it usually, you know, affects the heart. So I love forgiveness over the heart. Or applied to the ears, the soft parts of the ears. Wear it as perfume. So emotional keywords that we might associate with forgiveness is, you know, we've been betrayed, we distrust, repeating the past, revenge, self-denial. Those are areas that we might know that we need to work on forgiveness. And so this would be a great oil to use. And then we have harmony. So harmony is a blend of sandalwood, lavender, ylang ylang, frankincense, orange, angelica. So I see a lot of the same, but some different oils in this one compared to the other. And you can smell a big difference in the two. And again, we see frankincense, sandalwood, high in sesquiterpenes, rose, which is considered to have the highest frequency when it comes to oils. And, you know, frequency is very important when we're working on the emotional side, because those are the ones that can, really help increase our frequency. So if our vibrational frequency is down, which we all, that's not a woo-woo thing. Vibrational frequencies in everything. So if we go all the way back to the Bible, it can be traced. When God created man, when he created the earth, when he created everything, he spoke it into existence. So speech is vibration. So everything that has life to it has a vibrational frequency. We vibrate at a certain frequency. Plants vibrate at a certain frequency. Everything that's alive and living has a frequency. And that's why oils are so amazing, because their frequency is higher than ours, so they can help increase our frequency. And so if we look at rose, it has the highest recorded frequency, and it's in both of these oils that we spoke about. And we could literally do a whole class just on vibrational frequency, and maybe we'll do that next. So when is a time, emotional keywords, when is a time that we might need to work on harmonizing our lives, or know that we need to bring some harmony into our lives? If we're feeling a little stubborn about something, or sarcastic about something, if we have a little self-loathing, we feel isolated or crushed, hostile, fear of punishment, we might need to pull out the harmony. And I was listening today to it was an old CD from one of Gary's talks, and he was talking about how to truly be working on our emotions and keeping ourselves, where we need to be, we need to work on our emotions daily. So it's not just something that we work on when we've hit that intensity side of the wheel. We should start using it when we're at the lower end of it, or when we know we might be subjected to something that's going to bring out one of those emotions. We grab that oil. If we know there's going to be something that's going to, be stressing in our lives, grab the stress away. Or, if you're feeling a little down and you just don't know what it is, grab some joy. Grab an oil and use it. So we've got to be using them every day to keep us at that, because we're bombarded. So to really work on our emotional release every day, because we're bombarded daily, and it keeps us, it keeps us continually clearing out anything that's already been imprinted into our little storage bank of memories. And it also keeps things, if we can stop it before it starts, then it's not going to be imprinted onto our little storage banks of memory and create blocks. So inner child. So inner child description. This is a very sweet fragrance. Let me find mine. I don't have mine here. That one's at the studio. So inner child can be used aromatically to encourage us to connect with our authentic self. So if we look here, orange, tangerine, ylang ylang, or sandalwood again, jasmine, seen it in a number of them, spruce, bitter orange, neroli. So there's a lot of citrus in this one. And I love citrus oils because they're very energizing. They're also very calming oils. They're amazing. So this one, I love using this when I'm working on an emotional block that I might feel like lingers back into something that happened in childhood. Inner child is great. So just applying this one again to our ears, to our neck, to our wrists, diffusing it. I've heard of people, and I've done it too, apply it to the thumb and stick it to the roof of the mouth. Because think about back when we were children and how did we soothe ourselves? Some of us sucked on our thumb, so it's a very soothing thing to do. You could apply it under your nose. This is a great one, again, I'll mention, to help when we're removing blocks from childhood. It's very beneficial. So this is one that comes up a lot when doing aroma freedom technique, which I'll kind of mention towards the end of this presentation. So times we might need inner child. Emotional keywords to this: energy, desertion, reconnecting, happy. I mean, we think about children, most of the time they're happy. We're needing direction, needing to work on our loyalty. Inner child might be a great one to go to. And then present time. So it helps, present time helps us to focus on here and now, so we can get beyond the past and move forward. Because a lot of times we get stuck in the past and just can't move past it. If we look at this one, this is not a lot of oils in this. This is a blend of 3 oils: neroli, spruce, and ylang ylang. But it smells amazing. So keywords: when might we use present time? When might we need present time? When we're a little flustered, illusion, we're loss, malice, we have a stuffed emotion, or resistance to change. You know, sometimes when we have a resistance to change, it's because something's happened in the past that's creating that resistance. So it might just be present time that helps you kind of move past that and get into the present. Release. One of my favorites. This one, if you haven't gotten it, you're not going to get the feelings collection. I would put this one on my list of oils to have. So release is a blend. It's has a very relaxing aroma. It helps facilitate the ability to let go of anger and frustration. It also helps promote harmony and balance when diffused. So this one has ylang ylang, lavender, geranium, sandalwood, grapefruit, tangerine, spearmint, lemon, blue cypress. You see some similar oils that we saw in some of the rest of them. So this one, I think I mentioned it earlier, if we look down at the emotional keywords, frustration, anger is the second one. So anger, it's been found that anger is held in the liver. So I love applying release to my liver, especially when doing emotional release work that I know I have a block because of something that's angered me or someone that's angered me. I love to use release. I like to wear release. I love it on the pulse points on the wrists, applied to the ears, applied to the big toe, which is the brain, if we look at the reflexology or the VitaFlex chart. So keywords here: frustration, anger, harmony. So if we want harmony in our lives, we have to release some baggage, usually. Fear of success. If we have a fear of success, it's typically because something along the way has created a block in us, and we just need to release it and move forward so that we can have that success. Rebellion or holding back. and then Valor 2. So Valor 2 is the Valor that's in the current feelings collection. It's awesome. You need to have it in your toolbox. I also highly recommend, because it's available now, that you get Valor and you have both, because they do smell different. And the Valor that just came out, Gary worked very hard on to get it to smell and have the same action as the original Valor. And from a lot of people's experience, it actually has better action. But the main thing is he had to find something to use in place of rosewood, because rosewood is about extinct. So he had to reformulate it a little bit. And he, in his infinite wisdom, was able to create an amazing bottle of Valor that smells very, very, very similar to the original. So diffuse Valor 2 for inspiring, calming aroma, or apply topically to experience empowering, uplifting fragrance. It includes the natural occurring constituents linalool, alpha-pinene, camphene, and limonene. So in Valor 2, you'll find ylang-ylang, coriander, bergamot, Northern Lights black spruce. Again, we see there's frankincense, vetiver. Those are a couple of good green oils. Cistus, cassia. And then if we look at, if I can see the ingredients here, I'm going to read what the new Valor has in it. We have black spruce, camphor. So the camphor wood is what replaced the rosewood. Blue tansy, frankincense, and geranium is what's in Valor. So times that we might use these is fear of conflict. Fear, for me, Valor, fear of anything, Valor is awesome. This is how I got, Valor is how I was able to be not so fearful of public speaking and be able to teach classes, was by using Valor, applying it over the heart, applying it to my wrists, applying it to my feet, smelling it. I love, 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 love Valor. So great for anything that we're fearful of, because think about it, Valor, strength, defensiveness, resignation, aggression can be very calming. If we're withdrawn, you know, it just gives us that courage and a little bit of strength. We feel persecuted, Valor. So Valor, Valor 2 is what you get in the collection, are great, amazing. So when you only have the premium starter kit, what can I use? Great one to use for emotional release is lavender, frankincense, and stress away. So for any of you that have been in my Aroma Freedom technique, you'll recognize these, because these are the oils that Dr. Perkis uses to mix for his memory release blend that we use in Aroma Freedom. So you can apply these to the palm of the hand, rub the hands together, and inhale it slowly for 30 seconds to help you let go of any negative emotions. You know, you might repeat some affirmations to yourself as you inhale to help influence your thoughts and feelings. You know, I am calm, I am happy, I am strong, I am smart, I am fearless. Whatever you're needing to work through, and whatever you're needing courage. So, you know, not stating, I'm going to go into a little conscious languaging here. Never stating I need this or I want this, because that states lack of. So anytime that we're working on something, we say it is, you know, I am strong, I am fearless. It's just stating that positive. So, you know, another thing on top of using the oils is being more conscious of how you speak and using a little bit more positive way of speaking. So just being conscious of how we limit ourselves by our speech and by our thoughts. So, you know, if we say we can't, well, we probably won't. If we say we might, not going to happen, because we're already limiting ourselves. So just starting to change our ways of speech and being more conscious of that. When we get to resources, I'm going to tell you some of my favorite resources. Some things that we might add beyond our starter kit. The feelings collection that we spoke about tonight is great. Release oil, transformation. Another one that's not listed that I love is grounding. And then these, if you look at these that are on this page, these all set you up, along with the other recommended ones, for doing aroma freedom technique. So when you're wanting to take the emotional release work to the next level and really work on removing blocks, then get with someone who can help you with aroma freedom technique. So how do we get started? If you're new to this and you're just watching this because your friend invited you, the best way to get started is to purchase a starter kit. You receive wholesale pricing on all Young Living products. Most people start with the starter kit with the diffuser that comes with 11 oils. It's a great way to get started. And what I recommend is that you get with the person that invited you this evening, if you've not started, or shared this video with you, and get with them and let them help you get started. Otherwise, contact us. We'll be happy to help you. Once you get going, something that you might look at is essential rewards. What do we need to know about essential rewards? We earn points towards free products when we join the Essential Rewards program. It is totally optional program. You do not have to do it, but you get rewarded big time. You can purchase exclusive discounted Essential Reward kits. You fill your cart, change it as often as you like before your monthly processing date. You earn free monthly products and loyalty rewards at 3, 6, 9 months and 1 year. You can spend your earned points on free product. Sweet. And you can discontinue your participation at any time. Just if you ever go to discontinue it, be sure to use your points before you do that, or you lose them. So if you're really working, if you're getting into working on these emotional holds that you might have, or stopping emotional holds from beginning, you'll be ordering pretty regularly some oils, and then you'll start finding there's other things that you want. So Essential Rewards is great. The first 3 months you're on it, you earn 10% back on your order. The months 4 through 24, you earn 20% back, and months 25 on, you earn 25% back. So what that would look like is, let's say you placed a minimum PV order of 50 in your first month, then you would have $5 put into your rewards account. If you spend 100, then you'd have 10 put in there, and then those just accumulate until you want to go in and use them for free product. So again, we always like to share that with you because it's pretty sweet. I get lots of free stuff on my Essential Rewards, and I love it. So some resources that we might look at. Caroline Mine's book, Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils, is good. You heard me mention it numerous times throughout the video, but Dr. Benjamin Purkis, the Aroma Freedom Technique, using essential oils to transform your emotions and realize your heart's desires, is amazing. I went through his certification program because during the time that I've been in Young Living using essential oils, I have been through numerous emotional release classes, learning how to use oils from an emotional release standpoint. And Dr. Purkis says Aroma Freedom Technique, by far, I've gotten much the best results of any of them and have seen results in other people from them. So, you know, if you're in our group, you'll see periodically, and we usually have an ongoing monthly AFT get together on Sunday evenings. So, you know, if you're really wanting to work on removing some emotional blocks or getting, you know, moving forward in areas that you feel like you're being held back from, then I would recommend getting on one of those, or at least get the book and read up on it on your own. But I get a lot more out of somebody walking me through it. And for our group, I don't charge anything for it. So thank you guys for coming this evening and learning about how you can use oils for your emotions. It's big because our emotions can affect so many things. You know, it's not just our emotional self that our emotions affect, but they can affect us physically. It's scientific proof that stress can cause lots of physical ailments in the body. So, you know, working on our emotions not only helps us emotionally, but it also helps us physically and spiritually. So I give you guys kudos for being on here and wanting to start that journey. It's very beneficial. So thank you guys for coming this evening. I am going to stop the recording, and that way you guys can ask any questions on the chat if you want.